Hi guys! So today I'm going to be doing a flip through of two of my traveler's notebooks. Some of these layouts you guys have seen and some you have not. But this is how my traveler's notebooks turn out. They get pretty chunky and beautiful. I use the Felicity Jane traveler's notebooks and I love them so much. I love the paper in here. And I just love that she uses her pattern paper. So these work out really well for me. I use these little elastic bands. They come from the Hobonichi store. And once I place an order for any supplies from the Hobonichi store, I order a bunch of these. And they're pretty inexpensive. I think they're like $3 or so. But of course you have to pay shipping. But I think they're great, perfect size to keep your Hobonichi closed. Anyways, we're going to start with this one. And I usually put like a little embellishment on the front of my traveler's notebook. I don't use any covers for my traveler's notebooks. I love to keep them out. I just like how they look. I usually put a little quote on my first page and the dates from like the first layout to the last. And this paper is pretty good. It doesn't bleed through. Well, you can see here this bled through because, oh my gosh, I couldn't keep this embellishment stuck on, so I had to use some strong glue for that, and it seeped through. But you can kind of see on my first layout, my stays on, or I might have used archival ink, and it will bleed through slightly, but it doesn't bother me. And because also I use a lot of pattern paper on my layouts, you don't really see the bleed through, if that makes sense. But if that bothers you, I wouldn't use archival ink or stays on. Anyways, my first layout was about my girlfriend and I. I used a lot of Felicity Jane paper. I did cut out like a 3x4 card. I cut out that heart and stuck it in a different spot. I used a lot of Amy Tan puffy stickers, I believe, or Dear Lizzie, I'm not sure. Journaled a little bit, and I always put my date. In this layout, I used some navy blue, which I don't do much, and this is a picture of my son's marching band. I used my Amy Tan stamps, the wooden stamps, and I kind of really messed up here. It just didn't work out for me, and then I journaled and I didn't like my journaling or my handwriting, so I printed out my journaling and I still didn't like it. So I really stopped journaling on my layouts because I do have a daily journal, and I thought I don't really need to journal all the time. So I believe in 2017 I really started to kind of stop journaling after that. But over here, I journaled about my daughter's favorite pillow and stuffed animal. I have these stickers from one of my Amy Tangerine sticker sheets. I really like these stickers. Journaled in silver pen. And I love how this turned out. It's just very simple and pretty. This is one of my favorite layouts. The quote means so much to me, and this is just how I feel about my kids. And it just worked out really well. I used the Kelly Perky Dalton alpha stamps and colored in life just so it can pop up, and because I had a lot of yellow, so I wanted some yellow on this side of my layout. In this layout, I printed out this picture in a 4x8. I covered it with vellum. When I did this layout, it was, let's say, not my favorite. I don't know why. I don't know if it was the picture or if it was the layout itself. But then I thought maybe I should cover the picture with vellum so it can mute it down. And now looking at it, I think the picture looked fine without the vellum, but oh well. I still, think it's okay with the vellum. You guys have seen me create this one, and this is about my son being so fabulous. He always says that he's fabulous, and so I decided to kind of add some Amy Tangerine donut paper and I colored in one of the donuts to kind of match the color of the pool and my layout. Journaled a little bit. This layout also, I have a process video of this layout, and I will link all the process videos to this video. But anyways, this is about my besties, and we all live very far apart, but we're still very close, and even when we get together, it's like we never were apart. So I wanted to document how many years I've known these girls and how much they mean to me. This layout is about my tribe, my husband and kids. They are totally my tribe. And I tried to keep it as simple as possible, but knowing me, I can't do simple. But I used a lot of Dear Lizzie paper, and I really like the look of the kind of the pattern paper on both sides, just to bring in the layout together. And I should be doing that more often. And I just used a lot of puffy stickers and some of my Amy Tan stickers. I really like how that one came out. This layout, I also have a process video about this layout, and I wanted to do something different, so I cut off the top of my daughter's head and layered some flowers, like just kind of like a cluster of flowers. I did some washi tape circles, and I cut this brave out from one of my pink paisley papers. This paper is amazing. I love it. I've been using it a lot, and I actually had to buy another one. This one is my son. I did the same, but I just used die cuts for his cluster. I like how this one turned out. He's so wild and funny, and just the weird little die cuts worked really well for this layout and to kind of represent his personality. This layout is about my sisters, and I do this a lot where I will add a quote on one side of my layout and add my little layering to my picture on the other side. And I really enjoy doing that. It just brings out the quote and makes the layout kind of mean something, if that makes sense. And I did play around and added stickers to sisters, or I did sisters in stickers instead of, stamping out the whole quote. This layout was me trying to use up some stamps that I never use, and I got these cupcake stamps as a gift, and I wanted to really use them. I've had them for a while and never got to use them, so I really enjoyed how it turned out, just because I never thought I would use these stamps, and then I just stamped them on pattern paper to kind of match my Felicity Jane paper, and added my quote. And I do this a lot where I kind of mix and match my quote or my alphas. I'll use some stamping and some stickers, and it just makes your quote bold and in your face. But that was my last layout for this traveler's notebook. And I wanted to say also that sometimes I will stick 2 pages together if I feel like I have too many pages and my traveler's notebook is getting too bulky. So I will stick down 2 pages together so I can just make my traveler's notebook a little bit smaller. So let's do the next one. This is my second one for the year, and it started January 3rd. Oh, actually, this is my first one for 2017. The other one was 2016. But you can see I added a little embellishment, my quote, and my dates from my first layout to my last. My first layout was about George Michael, and I really wanted to kind of do a tribute to George Michael in my traveler's notebook. Growing up, I listened to a lot of George Michael, and it brings me back to some really amazing memories, and I would just wanted to add that in my traveler's notebook. So I did kind of similar to my daughter's and son's head cluster, and I just kind of made the flowers flow around him. Layout kind of gave me a hard time. I had a difficult time doing this layout, and I think it's because it was either because it was too busy, maybe the pattern paper, or it was the red. I don't know, but I was going for retro, and I had some little blunders where I added some yellow watercolor and it didn't work, so I did a little flip and added some pattern paper. I think I was just really off doing this layout, but it turned out pretty good, and I'm okay with it. Sometimes, your mistakes come out to be, a good mistake. This layout is about my son and his love of cookies. So I had this 4x6 card from a Felicity Jane kit. I did cut out the speech bubble and stamped out "I want more." And I really was going for simple, and I just added some flowers on the side. I believe that's pink paisley paper, and just added little phrases here and there. I can say this layout is about me. I was really excited about this new chapter in my life, so I wanted to dedicate a layout about me turning 40. I was lucky because I found this hooray in one of my Dear Lizzie party ephemera pack, I think, and I used some, what is that, a Felicity Jane paper, and this is Hazelwood paper, which is beautiful. I love their line. About my mother, how much I love her and what she means to me. So I decided to do my quote on one side and then layer my picture on the other. I did do some embossing, and I'm not a big fan of embossing. I love embossing, but I can't do it myself. I'm really bad at it. And as you can tell, it's already like peeled off, and that really sucks. But, you live and learn. I have to really practice with my embossing. Just played around with my quote. I do that a lot, where I stamped, use stickers, and I like how that turned out. The pink and black and white is really pretty. I'm talking about my kids and how much time I spend with them. And you can see, by the way, in this, I think 2017, I stopped journaling. I think I journaled once or twice. No, I actually stopped. I stopped journaling. I don't like my handwriting, and it was giving me a lot of grief. And I started hating the layout after I journal. So I decided I'm going to stop. I'm going to keep it as it to represent the time spent with my kids and how much they mean to me, and how, like the great times I spend with them. And because my husband travels a lot, so we spend a lot of time, just the three of us. This is the night my sister and I went to the Bon Jovi concert. I really wanted to use this illustrated faith paper, so I fussy cut it out, added it to my layout, and called my layout Girls Rock, because girls do rock. This is a 4x8 picture of my magnolia bush, and I love the flowers it produces. I wanted to keep it simple because I was using a 4x8 picture. So I just stamped out spring with my Kelly Perky Dalton stamps, and I added some flowers in March and called it done. You guys haven't seen me do this layout. I do have a process video, but never posted it. This idea came from another YouTuber. Her name is Nancy. I'm going to add her YouTube channel down below, and she painted her wood veneers. I loved it. I love the idea, just using up your wood veneers, and we all have a lot. So I took that idea, I scrap lifted that idea and made my own kind of layouts, but hers turned out beautiful. Anyways, I just painted the wood veneers, layered them, and then I added my picture and layered my picture with, I tried to match the colors to the wood veneers, and I called it done. I really, really love this layout. It turned out so pretty. This is another layout of our night when we went to the Bon Jovi concert. I just stamped out Weekend Vibes Girls Night, and I used a Feed Your Craft 3x4 card, and it says this right here. Sorry, airplane passing through. Anyways, I used this Feed Your Craft 3x4 card, and I stamped out is the best, so it would say this right here is the best. And I also used the Feed Your Craft camera set. I believe these are sold out. I added a little baggie and some pattern paper in the back. This is a layout of my daughter because she has to wear glasses now. And so I took a picture of her glasses and her wearing her new glasses. Just added some stamping. This is Feed Your Craft stamps, Feed Your Craft camera stamp. And I had this paper and I looked for it. I knew I had some glasses paper and I was so happy to find it. I think it was Dear Lizzie paper, and it works out really well because I really wanted to use it for this layout. And I believe that's my last page. I never do anything on my last one. There's just not enough space, and you know, it's really hard to kind of stamp at the end because your book just gets really thick and big, or mine does. But those are my last two Traveler's Notebooks. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.